Hari Raya sekali lagi, dan selamat datang diucapkan untuk anda yang mengikuti sesi ini secara langsung dan juga anda yang menonton setelah live stream ini berakhir ke sesi kolaborasi STOMACHOFCHAOS bersama laman pop culture suka ramai BuzzPopTV. Seperti biasa, saya Kudo Maharizu dari laman blog STOMACHOFCHAOS.com bersama para panelis dari BuzzPopTV akan memberi reaksi dan ulasan episod 1 hingga ke 5 Hell's Paradise atau Jigokuraku yang disiarkan di laman streaming Netflix setiap malam Ahad. Bersama saya malam ini panelis terdiri daripada Munif Malek. Let's see, I've called him no Kaki Kaiju, but today it's just his IG handle. How are you? How's your Raya been?
Panas as hell. Macam Hell's Paradise juga lah, pelis tu sebenarnya. Cantik but very hot.
You went back up north. Iklim monsoon tropika di Thailand. Yeah, at least we got some rain. Anyway, dan juga Anri Alwi. He's changed his to a more I don't know what to call it, sensible anime connoisseur. How are you, Anri?
I'm fine, thank you. Selamat Hari Raya, everyone. Say hello to your wives and tell your mom I'll be late tonight.
So untuk makluman anda yang belum pernah mengikuti sesi ulasan perbincangan kami akan mengandungi spoilers yang berkait dengan episod-episod yang diulas dan juga kepada anda yang menonton sesi ini. Setelah live stream ini berakhir, sila langgan kepada laman YouTube STOMACHOFCHAOS dan juga BuzzPopTV supaya anda tidak ketinggalan untuk menonton live stream kami yang akan datang. Dan jangan lupa tenyah butang like. So without wasting any time, kita akan memulakan sesi kita dengan reaksi satu ayat. Right, reaksi satu ayat untuk this basically Jigokuraku atau Hell's Paradise, a seinen manga that's been adapted. Manga dia dah habis actually, 13 episod. So jika anda suka baca manga, suka kutip, collect manga, actually if you are a Kinokuniya, kami tak disponsor oleh Kinokuniya, so Kino kalau nak sponsor kami sila. If you have one of the privilege, the KPC dekat, minggu lepas baru ni 20% off everything, I think. So I bought some stuff. So basically they have got satu pillar ni penuh dari 1 sampai 13 complete kalau nak siapa nak baca cerita ni. So it's a manga seinen by Yuki Kaju. Saya dah beli tapi saya belum sempat nak baca, so saya consider anime only. Reaksi satu ayat saya bloody. Wah, satu perkataan. Andri, what's your R1A?
R01A.
R1A, reaksi satu ayat.
Reaksi satu ayat. I got two words lah, basically two descriptions lah. The first one is fuck. Second one is Royal Rumble. Because I only watched the anime, I have not much expectations. But only reason why I'm watching this in the first place is because slim pickings for this season. There's a lot of titles, but a lot of them are not so good. There's Rie Takahashi involved in this, and Studio Mappa is involved. So that's like 2+ things that you cannot go wrong lah. So I was pleasantly surprised since episode 1 how good the story is.
It is actually. It is actually.
If it's something that people ask me how do you describe it, I say it's like Terraformers meets Basilisk. Another ninja anime yang dulu lama-lama.
Munif, no, I guess I know what you're going to say, but go ahead. Kepada penonton di rumah, Munif here is our manga reader. He's read the whole thing, I think. Haven't you?
Yeah. So it's just big coincidence. I didn't even know they were going to release the anime, but I literally just finished reading it couple of months before the announcement was made. I was like, oh, great. Okay, so untuk reaksi satu ayat. Okay, macam obviously both of you guys like what you've seen so far, kan? But imagine as a manga reader, my reaksi satu ayat is it's starting slow but it's getting there. So can you imagine what's gonna happen lagi in the future episodes? So if what I'm seeing so far, you know, in hindsight with knowing what I know then again, is that it's to me starting slow, but it's getting there. It's all about escalation cerita ni.
I did notice macam hari tu on Sunday I watched episode 5 like okay, I know the thing is when I've read it up to volume, I definitely finished volume 1. I can't remember whether I've started volume 2 or in the middle of volume 2 or not, but so I'm not too sure where we are at in episode 5 compared to the manga, but nonetheless I got a feeling I probably read about the same amount of stuff because, like you say, it's slow escalation at the moment because they've kind of figured out certain things, but not really knowing, you know, other than the everyone for themselves fest, which we shall talk about in a bit. So we've not seen much yet. Okay. We're going to talk about that dalam kita akan ke episod pertama sampai ke 5 selepas ini. Tapi sebelum tu, let's see what we have from chat. Category the Great, yes, Hell Paradise, memang Hell and Paradise macam sini lah, tengah hari panas, petang hujan. Like I was like literally a tap open from the sky. I was drenched like crazy just now. Mofa, nak dengar benah dulu baru nak tengok anime sebab takut tak best. Pergi tengok best.
That's why we do this.
Manga dia best ke kalau tak nak baca juga. I don't know. I'm the sort of person that I'm interested to read the manga and lepas tu ada kemudahan nak beli kan, tapi at the moment saya tak sure kalau selain daripada laman web yang kat mana lagi nak tengok, because I don't think it's in Shonen Jump Plus or any other. You read it physically or you got it digitally, Munif?
Digitally actually, but I have to say kalau kau tanya pasal nak baca tak baca, aku boleh cakap macam ni lah. Even though anime dia memang it's in good hands sebab MAPPA yang buat kan, but no way dia boleh replicate the level of artwork as how it was hand drawn dalam bentuk manga. Sebab some of the spreads is jaw dropping. Some of the spread aku tengok, what the hell, cantik gila saya artwork dia. So for that alone memang berbaloi beli. And the second reason aku boleh cakap is that maybe this is just a personal thing lah, tapi to me aku suka baca manga first sebab aku nak tengok this is how the mangaka intended it to be, visual wise and story wise kan, because the anime is in more sense and one is an adaptation again of that. So kadang-kadang the best story, so kau memang akan lagi feel kalau kau consume dia punya manga dulu as how it is intended by the original creator. Lepas tu then the anime will further enhance that. So then you add the kinetic animation and everything lah. So bagi aku cerita ni memang best. So if you are manga fan like me, aku rasa kau akan find it worth it untuk baca the manga.
Yeah. I think I would definitely agree with you. I mean, bukan aku tak nak baca sebab bosan ke apa, but too much things, too little time. Lastly, Caleb Paul, selamat Hari Raya. Selamat Hari Raya to you too. Okay, I think we've got all that from chat now, and might as well kita get the ball rolling to episode yang pertama. Right, episode pertama. Okay, anyway, kita diperkenalkan kepada Kabimaru the Hollow, seorang shinobi muda berambut putih yang dihukum bunuh. Albeit setiap kali hukuman dijalankan, beliau tak mati. But sorry, by the way, nama episode pertama adalah the Death Row Convict and the Executioner. Shisaijin to Shikonin. So anyway, let's start with Anri, since you are at the top of the photograph. First impressions of this chap, of this, this typical badan size Deku, rambut macam Gojo. Anyway, that's enough similarities.
Don't try to cover it. This guy is basically the bad guy from My Hero Academia.
Oh, sorry.
Shigaraki.
This guy is Shigaraki. This is an ancestor. But I have to admit his character design is a bit too simple if you ask me He is supposed to be pale. I can totally get it because of the after effect of the elixir yang dia ambil because of the ketua dia kasihan. But he looks rather plain. I don't know if this by choice or by memang design dia macam tu tau. Maybe as you go through the manga kan, he becomes a bit more darker, more brooding or something. But as it is now kan, he macam lacks impact when we first saw him tau.
When we first saw him, okay, yeah, fair
enough.
I
mean if you watch Rory Kenshin, right? Samurai X, right?
I've only watched the live action, so I can comment much more lah.
It doesn't matter if it's the live action or the anime, right? When he appears, he's supposed to blend in the background, kan? But he's the lead character because dia punya pakaian he's wearing merah, red hair. This guy has white hair, but in terms of build semua kan, it's like biasa je, nothing intimidating. So, but that said kan, the moment we see his powers in action kan, yang jadi macam immortal ni kan, I'm like, okay, this guy must be OP dah. Memang OP character dah. The fact he has immortality already gives him like hands above the rest advantage when it comes to shinobi.
Have you read the manga?
No, I don't.
Okay. I mean, kita dah, by the time kita dah tengok episode 5, kita dah dapat a few clues lah about what he's like. But bearing in mind that he, as a shinobi, he macam just like Naruto. To any of you Naruto fans, I mean he can do ninjutsu, so he's got a bit of that as well. But obviously, Munif will be doing the correcting for any us anime only viewers kalau buat mistake. Tapi of course he will not spoil just in case the exposition to. But we have clues about this elixir in Igawakure, which is
I have a few theories lah. As the series goes, you see a lot of things intertwine each other.
Munif, got anything to add to Gabi Maru? First impression. I mean, even when you read it, the first few chapters, what did you think of him?
So here's the thing: how I will approach this bedah session today is that I'll jog down memory lane of how I felt when I first encountered the parts that we are discussing lah, to avoid spoilers lah. So when I first saw the characters, sebiji macam Anri juga lah. Dia nampak macam very unassuming, unsuspecting, not intimidating, almost like an NPC in a way. Kalau bukan pasal the white hair kan. But here's the thing.
Tak cukup makan.
Betul. Dengan dia punya build kecilnya apa semua. But I kinda dig that actually though. Pasal number one, it's actually a departure from your typical shonen heroes and all that, who's very like vibrant and nampak sangat stand out. Like Naruto is a freaking ninja, but it's like bright orange. So if anything, Gabi Maru actually captures what a ninja should be visually sebenarnya, which is blend into the background, color hitam macam tu kan, those very like monochromatic color schemes kan. Sebab I mean if you even look at like historical images of macam actual ninjas of far, they look just like farmers. Sebab they're all the more effective to do the assassinations rather than being bright orange tengah-tengah. So I love his design, because one of the things that I've learned about Jigokuraku ni is that the world and the characters, even though we'll encounter some fantastical shit and lah, but it's actually quite, I would say grounded, tapi quite realistic. Quite realistic in how the people act and react and emote. They just make sense. It's like if you were in those scenarios, like if you had this background, you were in this scenario, you would, you know, dia macam bukan setiap outlandish, like contoh macam Luffy ke, or other macam shonen tu, macam you approach situations like very outlandishly kan. But yang ni is very, you feel like, you know what, I actually know a dude who would react like that in this situation. So the get-up of Gabimaru kind of reflects that I'm a ninja, I'm not gonna wear bright orange, I want to assassinate people stealthily, so I'm tambah pula aku pula Gabimaru the Hollow. I'm a guy who's supposed to have no feelings. I'm not gonna be flashy like, kalau tadi kita ambil contoh Naruto, then like kalau Demon Slayer we have Tengen Uzui kan. So Tengen is a shinobi. Tapi but he's also like very flashy flash kan. So so if you are someone who is not only a shinobi but also has a hollow personality, you know, as someone who has no emotions, you won't, that's reason number one that you probably won't express yourself artistically and visually. And that's spirit wise, but functionally as a shinobi also in this very rather realistic punya vibe that they're going with, you're also not gonna dress up like all orange or bright like Tengen lah. So going with the vibe of the anime, that's why I really dig this character. But having said that, if a character design like Gabimaru was say in a completely outlandish world macam One Piece ke My Hero, then that would suck. But in this setting, it works. The design works. So going to aku punya first impression of Gabimaru pula. Honestly speaking, when I was reading, and tu lah dia macam dia try execute and macam dia tak mati-mati apa semua. And then I jujur cakap, honest first reaction, I was rolling my eyes. Macam, is this gonna be one of those mangas where the MC is just completely OP and they're not gonna bother to explain why this guy is OP, and it's gonna be, I'm the MC, I'm gonna trounce everyone, and up until kalau kau tengok in reference to the anime, up until the 3rd, 4th episode, it was like that. So I was just rolling my eyes, but everyone cakap best gila manga ni, so I just sabar baca. And then eventually, that's when I realized, there's actually reasons for why he was set up that way. Actual like in-world explanations and narrative kind of reasons, and there's a payoff for that juga and everything. So if you are like me, the first few episodes, and especially the first episode, kau tahu dia ni OP, there's gonna be boring shit, I implore to you, sabar kejap, it'll be worth it. So my first impression was that lah.
Just going to add a little bit to what you said, Munif, with regards to ini, saya pun masa doing a bit of background reading regarding the manga. Kaku Yuji, as I said, is the mangaka. Dia tulis dan juga lukis manga ni. There was a comment about him that sebenarnya dia dulu manga editor, the kind of people that actually tells other mangaka you need to adjust stuff. So, but in the end, he himself buat manga ni, and then mana tak dia kata, while Kaku, with having been a former manga editor himself, it was easy for other people to communicate things to him as the artist. I mean, this is his editor himself, if I'm not mistaken. Cakap senang juga nak communicate kat Mamat ni because dia faham apa an editor want. Tapi sampai to a point that the mangaka admitted that this has caused him to unconsciously hold back creatively by thinking objectively like an editor. So a bit of a double-edged sword when you're already an editor. You want to be creative, and yet maybe your editor's hat is on like, don't do this, don't do that, whatever. But okay, the next question is, actually we'll go to a couple of words by chat. Catherine Gila Great, ninja ni tak boleh mati, tapi jumpa dengan samurai ni sayur pula. Bagi aku okay lah for the opening. Well, until we're going to talk about this samurai in this next question, to see why dia sayur sekejap. Tapi nak tanya, ninja ni keluar api memang betul api ke cuma symbolic for story? I've watched stories with ninjas before, but I'm not really into ninja lore. Any of you can answer this question, or whether ninjas can spit out flames? I don't think so, but in a lot of literature, it implies that they can do ninjutsu. So, anybody have any knowledge on this?
I kind of have something to baca cakap lah about this, like on 2 points. Satu, historically, I guess, when you talk about ninjutsu, it's probably some really advanced, either killing techniques or smoke and mirrors punya technique. So because if you can see like a lot of things we do today, actually, we yang macam fantastical back then have some really easily macam explain scientific reasons. So I don't know, maybe like back then, the guy who maybe discovers and knows how to manipulate belerang or something will look like a god. You never know, kan? So there's probably, and we have fire breathers in Hawaii, So someone could just be spitting oil and water and just like lighting that up, and everyone's like, oh shit, that ninja's on fire, kan? So historically, macam it's not. Bukan kata ninjutsu tu is what, kan? Tapi kadang I feel like ninjutsu tu it's a very clever smoke and mirror technique. So sometimes that could help you even win battles without even like crossing swords yet or something.
Because people will be so in awe, they'll just give up. Okay, whoa.
I'm fighting a god, kan? Macam mana, kan? But okay, dalam
imagine dia belerang sikit, betul speed up oil. Boom. Anyway,
so yang tu more to the historical point lah. Tapi kalau cakap in the anime and manga pun, macam mana aku boleh cakap macam ni lah. To explain you this in detail would take away from the excitement now. Sebab 4-5 episodes in, dia tak cerita lagi pasal dunia ni punya power system lah.
I see,
So that is the ninjutsu yang dia buat, and how he's getting hurt by this but not getting hurt by that, semua tu kan. That is part of what makes Jigokuraku ni interesting. So aku tak nak cerita pasal you will actually enjoy when you just follow this manga, because macam cakap, trust me, aku pun macam macam nak, how the hell is he combusting himself, kan? Aku tak suka kalau ability tapi tak explain. At least paling kurang cakap lah devil fruit bagi you mystical power, whatever, kan? So aku memang baca the first few chapters, so memang in frustration, this is gonna be one of those mangas, kan? Tapi little did I know, the power system dalam dunia ni not only narratively makes everything make sense walaupun fantastical, but becomes one of the biggest attractions of this IP is memang pasal dia punya power system tu. So, for your benefit, I won't explain this further, but trust me, it will be explained satisfactorily.
Nice one, thanks Munif. Anyway, we're going on to the next question. Basically, our overlay yang sama lah juga. Okay, there was a short comment from Grey Line between agreeing that she can't stand OP main characters. So basically, next question, again, sebagai episode introductory, soalan pun macam introductory juga. So we got the girl in the bottom overlay, Yamada Simon Sangiri, seorang Algojo dari keluarga atau klan samurai Yamada Simon yang dikenali dengan keandalan menggunakan pedang sebagai jata. So he said basically the Yamada Simon is a dojo, and it's got a bunch of samurais in there, and they're not just executioners, they're not just swordsmen or swordswomen, they do other stuff as well. But anyway, pandangan, first impressions anda. So basically sekali lagi, I'm going to switch it up and start with you again, Munif. So when you first saw her, what was your thoughts originally?
Well, dia macam mana, I was very conflicted with the character of Sagiri ni when I first will reach to the point where the anime is reaching lah. Pasal masa they first appear, you see that she's really determined and stoic, and macam bila she unsheath her blade, is one of the few people that actually, in fact, so far, it's one of the probably only human characters yang buat Gabi Maru berpeluh, cemas. Orang lain ketuk-ketuk dia, whatever kan. Tapi Sagiri buat, dia macam take notice, and even tengah lawan pun macam, she could have fucking killed me a few times lah, apa semua. So when we were first introduced to Sagiri, when I first saw Sagiri, I thought, this is gonna be one of those macam really boss female characters lah. But then like almost a split second later, then you see her with all her doubts and insecurities, and then we found out like her fellow assignment macam tu raining her with like you know, the patriarchy lah, macam the patriarchy, and then being all sexist with her, and then she actually terkesan with those things. Lepas tu even her internal conflict pun macam dia macam, you are a freaking samurai executioner beheader, tapi macam you feel bad about killing, you feel insecure about killing. So aku macam, my first impression was, what's going on with this character? So I thought, is this like bad writing or something? So that's how I first macam, the character feels like very inconsistent. What's going on with her?
Yes, betul.
So kan, but this is not a spoiler lah. But cakap, not far from here, you will find that actually macam aku cakap, Jigokuraku is not about making two-dimensional cookie cutter characters. So Jigokuraku is all about that realism. So macam for every, think of the people you know in life. Who is exactly like a singular personality though? The hottest girl you know will suddenly be so insecure about overeating during Raya. Oh my god, do I look bad or whatever? The most athletic guy you know will be so insecure juga pasal, you know what, I didn't make it to the national team lah, but this guy easily masuk. So I later found out that my first impression was that I thought the character was very inconsistent because of bad writing. But I would later find out that not only that this is actually by design, and it will make you relate more to the character, trust me, as you go. But you know what? The genius of this manga is that I thought that was the best as you can be. Mula-mula macam conflicted, but then I see it's about making the character real kan. But eventually you will see there's actually a really big narrative reason why certain personalities are so. There's a really, really big reason why certain personalities are so, and there's payoffs to these things that makes you wonder. So the personalities of the characters and the payoff at the end of their journeys or whatever nanti, and is one of the reasons why bagiku this manga is really, really good. Khusus macam Kudo cakap, because this guy is also an editor himself. Everything from the power system to the personalities to the general narrative and how it gets tied up nicely together. Memang crisp gila, and I really think it's helped because this guy is an editor. So memang cantik lah. You will see lah. You'll feel conflicted like me about her personality, but again, just trust me when I say it's not because of bad writing. You will see.
Okay, cool. Anri, have you got anything to add about what your own views on pendapat, first impression lah pasal our
when I first saw Sagiri, right, we all know that this is the main female character lah that's going to take center stage in this whole story. And yeah, I had my concerns about the character lah. Munif said it best kan to describe this girl kan, she's inconsistent now. The first time kan, we saw her right in action kan, we were led to believe kan that she could actually kill Gabi Maru tau. Masa dia nak potong kepala dia kan in that final episode scene, right? And then there was the scene where mereka berkumpul ramai tepi pantai, and then later on pergi dekat the island itself. And then she was like having doubts, and she was like powered down, like half her power macam nangis is one thing lah. It's like when she hold the sword, right, there's no strength to it now. She had doubts. Okay, fine. I dig and understand the fact of her guilt on executing people, but she was not actually that bothered when she was trying to perfect her art. So there was some conflict of points of interest there now. She wants to be the best executioner, but she was worried about the executioners punya what you call that, last minutes of living lah. Tak want to kasih banyak siksa lah for some reason. And then she was bothered by their death, and then nampak pedang kan, the blade will show you the truth and all that stuff. If she is truly dedicated to her art, right, she wouldn't have these thoughts at all tau. I mean, a lot of the convicts kan, who were as sick as fucks as they are, right, they were actually true to their nature tau. They kill because they love to kill. They had no issues, and they were consistent on their punya characteristics tau. Sagiri at this point kan, she was at the beach, she was having doubts, and at the island itself kan, she was like macam almost gave up on her own self tau, on her skills, on her motives, on her drive. But Munif said her character is by design like this, so I'm looking forward to see how she build herself up lah to all these audience on the island lah.
Overcome her insecurities and see where this will bring her at the end of the story. Yeah, cool.
But the one thing I noticed about the Azaemon, right? There are samurais, right?
Yes.
Basically, they are samurais, but so they are part of the enforcers of the ruling class of the shogun lah. But for some reason, aku pelik kenapa budak-budak tu berani campak batu dekat dia tau. It's like they're pariahs of society tau. I mean, I'm sure they're dealing with dead body.
Is
and
that
stuff.
the one? Is that from the
Flashback?
From the flashback? Mungkin masa tu pasal dia budak kot. Tak tahu lah. The masalahnya bila I mean Munif might correct me, but as I understand it, that it's also a dojo, kind of like what if you were talking about like what we were talking about Rurouni Kenshin kan they have dojos and all that. Because samurai, as far as I understand, they are like the warrior class that follows a particular lord.
And
these people siapa lord dia, but yet they answer to the shogun. So whether or not, but they are part dalam sejarah Jepun di mana samurai ada banyak type, I'm not too sure, so I can't say. Unless Munif got anything else to add?
I mean, from memory lah, if I recall correctly, pasal it is like what Kudo said lah, sebab they serve directly under the shogun, but as kind of as consultants, because they're so good at what they do, at beheading and executing, so they jadi macam your in-house consultant lah, macam tu. So that's not to demean them or anything, but their position, their dojo's position in relation to the shogunate is important, but they're not royalty themselves lah, basically.
No, they're not.
So they
because kalau kau punya, if your lord dies, you are like pariahs, macam 47 Ronin. You are nothing. You are Ronin lah. Kau turun pangkat jadi Ronin.
In Hell's Paradise, you see during the flashback kan, masa dia nak makan kan sama ada students kan, ada lalat hingga atas nasi dia. This is what I like about the details for this series tau. A lot of people missed it, but zaman dahulu dekat Jepun, right, the normal people do not eat rice nasi putih tau. They eat macam porridge tau, a more liquid version of the rice. So the fact that she ate a rice kan, nasi putih macam apa yang beras jasmine or something like that, right, means that they are upper society members tau. They can actually eat rice as rice tau. Normal rakyat tak makan rice, they eat macam gruel, you know, bubur, half rice, half water, half kanji. So at that point kan, I said, oh, this guy must be the top tier members of society, boleh afford eating actual rice tau. And you have to understand, samurais kan, they are paid in rice tau, most of the time. So she is on a high status, but the people still have the balls to actually balik batu nak bunuh dia tau, for some reason.
Interestingly, they just to follow up from what your statement, we got a little question by kategori bukan perempuan tak boleh jadi samurai ke sebab pewariskan. Dari segi technical, women are never samurai. Samurais are men. Just sementara kategori itu tadi, I actually went sementara tu I tengok lah just to check. Unfortunately, my fact check is Wikipedia, but Wikipedia is always based on proper facts as opposed to whatever. So there are female warriors, ada zaman purba warrior dulu. Mereka dipanggil Onna Musha.
Ginchio Tachibana from Samurai Warriors.
Saya tak main game, so saya tak tahu lah. But there were members of the Bushi warrior class in feudal Japan and were trained in the use of weapons to protect their household, family and honor in times of war. So they've been mentioned dalam kesusastraan Jepun in the past as far back as the 12th century. So ada lah, tapi they were never called samurai. So, and bear in mind this is also fiction. There's another question here dari Mofa soalan menyimpang, tapi I guess tadi Munif dah ada sebut pasal manga. Dia kata kenapa manga yang lukisan dia lawa semua susah nak divisualkan ke anime secantik manga? Adalah sebab pembuatan anime tak cukup atau ada sebab lain? Okay, I nak padam ni pasal kesian Munif muka kena tutup. Nak senang macam ni je lah. The long and short of it is, yes, bila manga tu cantik, detail kan, dan bila kita nak buat animasi lukisan kena ada depending lah how many frames per second nak buat, tapi saya tak tahu. Tapi kalau nak ikut filem, at least 24 frames per second. So can you imagine having to draw 24 versions of the same detailed drawing for every second of the film? Susah. Lepas tu kan orang duk komplain, apalah anime ni pakai CG. Dia nak kena mudah. Boleh juga nak buat, tapi anime satu episod tu agaknya 5 tahun lah siap. So kita kena fikirlah cost effectiveness of trying to draw everything. So that's why diorang cakap macam mendiang Kentaro Miura punya Berserk, lukisan dia cantik, detail gila, tapi anime dia hampas gila. Diorang cakap CGI dia tak apa-apa pasal diorang tak boleh nak buat sebiji macam mana Miura lukis. Kalau nak balik kepada sesuatu yang kita pernah tengok recently is Chainsaw Man. Okay, Chainsaw Man pun orang duk komplain CG lah, apa jadah lah. Kalau siapa ingat episod pertama yang dia dalam warehouse yang dia kena attack dengan the zombie devil tu, dengan banyak zombie bertimbun-timbun. Kalau buka panel tu kan, punya detail what's the name of the mangaka? God, Fujimoto is it? Anyway, dia punya drawing, bayangkan, and benda tu semua bergerak. So bayangkan nak lukis setiap benda tu. So because studio pun nak make the adaptation, nak secantik manalah yang dibuat oleh mangaka tu. To do it justice. So they will employ the best method lah. Tapi memang susah lah. Long and short of it, memang susah nak buat. So kalau lukisan awak macam kartun, senang sikit. Yes, you want to add something?
To add to that, to what Kudo already says, memang spot on lah. Sebab macam Kudo cakap, kalau kau baca Berserk kan, again cakap size spread kan, kau tengok some of them punya spread sudah macam that's a masterpiece level artwork now. And even kalau bukan Berserk, kalau kau tengok Naruto, you know the iconic scene of Pain masa dia terbang over Konoha, yang dia ready nak Shinra Tensei the whole village kan, yang nampak every ketul-ketul, every single building dalam Konoha tu nampak kan, that big Naruto punya spread tu. Kau imagine nak lukis balik those things macam 20-30 more times, nak repeat a masterpiece 30 more times with slight variations, just untuk watak tu bergerak sikit. So it's just kau kena satu episod tu selang 5 tahun dapat lah episod baru tau. That's one thing. So logistically it doesn't make sense. Tapi the second factor ni aku nak tambah ni is that as a person who studies artist, who likes to lukis myself, who actually draws for a living juga lah kan. is that it's all about the stroke. Sebab bila kau tengok drawing kan, kau tengok in a character or okay, another example, kau tengok yang orang selalu buat, dia ada katalah macam One Piece kan. Okay, ni yang Oda lukis kan. Lepas tu ni yang pelukis Bleach lukis. Lepas tu ni yang Sunken Rock ke lukis. Tiba-tiba yang ni mangaka ni pula lukis. So Luffy tapi in different styles kan. Tapi kau tahu ni style Jojo ni, yang ni style Bleach ni. Yang ni original saya Oda apa semua. Okay, why can you identify? Kalau dia tak label pun guarantee you tahu. Ni Luffy Jojo version. Anyway, why can you tell? Is because directly from the artist himself or herself, the mangakas, is the stroke. So bila kau buat anime, it's not the mangaka drawing the thing. So so dia punya original stroke tu is not there. So sebab tu, however they try to replicate balik the manga in anime form, kau takkan ever dapat tangkap that essence. So because the stroke is unique to the artist. So number one is that logistically, macam Kudo dah explain tadi, doesn't make sense untuk nak cuba replicate a masterpiece 25 frames for one scene. Secondly, kalau dia nak buat pun dia tak boleh, because unless the mangaka himself goes and lukis for the anime,
dia pun malas
because you can't replicate you cannot replicate the strokes. So sebab tu kita kena faham ni, so for an anime, as long as they macam try to replicate the best as they can, the animation as smooth as they can, and dia tak ada lah nampak macam jaring sampai completely takes you out of the experience, then it's okay lah. Bagi aku dengan anime ni kena be a bit forgiving lah. Tapi yang aku pula, when you talk about the animated punya version of an IP kan, yang aku punya pet peeve lah, aku tak tahan kalau buat just slideshow. Itu aku tak suka. Slideshow.
Ya.
Macam lawan still pictures. Baik aku baca je lah macam ni.
Tapi itu memang taktik anime lama tau. Macam if you watch like even up to 90s anime, or even studio yang don't have enough money, kalau sedang je diorang pergi bandar, kat belakang tu orang semua berdiri tak jalan. Whereas if you watch the someone this one. So
that's me.
Can you I'll mute you. Okay. So kalau siapa yang tengok Chainsaw Man, like Mappa went out of its way, dia punya CG kat belakang tu, kalau dia orang dalam kereta Makima duduk macam tu, orang belakang tu semua tu berjalan tau, pegang anak, angkat anak lah. Itu dia orang nak invest their time into it. Tapi at what price? Dia orang kena balance lah. I mean, in fact, tak banyak. I mean, just one more contoh is My Hero Academia. So last year ada orang, masa dia orang tunjuk, bukan last year, I mean when they showed the second core, if actually no, the first core for the last for season 6 itu, yang masa dia orang scene gaduh lepas Shigaraki escape from the hospital tu. It's like orang semua marah, apa ni tak cantik lah, because dalam manga kan cantik kan, gambar angle, pakai kamera wide angle, kepala besar, kaki kecil and all those lines, because that's not the style of Bones to draw it like zaman Feast of the North Star, tumbuk ada garis-garis. Tapi yet if you do that, it'll be nice. Tapi and then diorang gaduh siang. Bila gaduh siang, langit biru kan. So bila tunjuk dalam anime ada colour, nampak bosan lah kan. Because if anybody does photography, okay, kalau kita pergi Jalan Tunku Rahman tengah hari, tangkap gambar, as a photographer, I feel hamba tau, regardless of what. Tapi why don't you go there at dusk? Orange tone, kan? All those things make a difference because certain neon lights start lighting up. Gambar sama juga, area sama juga dengan animation, I guess. But because dah cerita tu set at 11:30 in the morning, takkanlah aku nak pandai-pandai buat macam tone orange macam langit tengah turun kan. So benda-benda tu lah. So it's like chill lah ni. That's how it is lah. I think we better move on forward because otherwise we will
nanti I want to add lah. Jigokuraku ni kan, they're doing a good job. Mappa is doing good job when it comes to releasing out episode. I found out a few days back yang someone posted that episode 1 was completed like what, 2 months ago. That's quite recent.
That's what happens when you have that's what happens when you have a studio that has too many projects. I mean, that's what happens for Chainsaw Man pun. In fact, some of the later episodes 2 minggu sebelum tu baru siap.
If the studio macam cuti 2 hari because of COVID outbreak, whatever it is kan, you will not see an episode next week or something like that. It is that tight.
Yeah, and bearing in mind, not that I've heard of any announcement. Sekarang ni Golden Week dekat Jepun. Golden Week ni like 3-4 public holidays dekat-dekat, and then manga pun, if you are expecting a new chapter out this week, it'll not come out. It'll come out the week after, things like that lah. Tapi it's Golden Week, ada orang, so dia orang sometimes manga episode pun tak ada. Tapi we'll see lah. Just a quick one, senang-senang. I mean, kadang-kadang mangaka tak nak manga dia orang dianimekan. There might be the case. Saya personally, saya tak tahu. Dan juga dari Wan Faris, dia katanya panelis akan bincang Oshinoko punya anime. Kita orang pernah mention lah. It's actually it's surprisingly a good first episode. Tapi daripada situ saya dah agak, lepas cerita ni it will go a slightly different slant because it does appear to be like a revenge anime. Saya tak tengok lagi the subsequent episode because saya tengah cuti ni, so benda macam ni boleh tengok later. But probably tak kot. But we'll see lah. If I hear anybody dalam BuzzPop kata, "Woi, jom lah borak about it," we'll probably talk about it, but we'll not talk about it every week.
Do you cry in the first episode?
We have watched. We have discussed this, tapi sebut 3 kali. But I've watched the first episode. I know you watched the episode. Everybody's watched the first episode. Semua orang menangis lah, whatever it is. But there you go. We'll end it at that. So anyway, kita sekarang pergi ke our next segment, which is episode kedua. Right, episode kedua, screening and choosing or senbetsu to sentaku. So anyway, sewaktu Gabimaru dan sekumpulan banduan yang berhadapan dengan Shogun Tokugawa Nariyoshi, mereka diberi arahan untuk ke pulau yang dikatakan somewhat south beyond Okinawa. So kepada anda yang tahu geografi Jepun, Okinawa tu jauh, dia macam on the way to China. Pulau Okinawa dipanggil ke Ryukyu Islands in the past. It used to be owned by China, if I'm not mistaken. But this island is beyond that or something like that. Hence why it looks a bit tropical. So anyway, island tu diberi arahan untuk ke Shinsenkyo mencari elixir of immortality or Tokijiku no Kagunomi. Anyway, I think I will go for Anri lah. Obviously, so at the bit where the Shogun give the, smugly giving the instructions, adakah anda menyangkakan aktiviti secara kumpulan yang berlaku immediately after that?
Yes, I did. Never trust a fat Shogun.
Bastard.
Mesti apa, memang celaka. That guy, you see him right, you know he is the type who would fuck you up at all levels tau. I'm pretty sure you bring back the elixir, he will not kill his promise, he'll kill you. I'll be like, you know what, I'm just going to go to the island and get the elixir, and after that find my way out lah. I'm not going back to Japan. I'll go back to China or Taiwan or Philippines or Singapore, wherever it is lah, but not to that fat guy lah. He's crazy. He enjoys murder and death, but will not get his hands dirty now. So he's a sick fuck lah. Okay. So the whole murder on the beach thing, right, is expected lah. Plus, when you put a room full of murderers and criminals and rapists, and you expect some sort of order, the only order you're gonna get is the order of killings lah. So this is what I expected lah. Dah.
Yeah lah. As they say, no honor among thieves. Have you got anything to add, Munif?
Masa back when I was reading the manga and reinforced when I watched the anime pula is apa tau. Sebab kalau kau ingat you remember the briefing from the Shogun, dia kata from the representative lah, apa dia kata, it's like one criminal will be escorted by one assignment lah. So for every criminal yang pergi tu akan ada beheader yang untuk jaga dia kalau dia go out of line. And I'm like looking at the whole setup and aku fikir there's no way there's enough assignment for this huge groups of criminals sih. So dari situ aku cakap something's gonna happen. Dia ni akan kena thin the herd, confirm. So assignment ada sedozen lah. So the criminals tu banyak gila lah. Ni mampus dia orang ni. Memang akan jadi Hunger Games ni. And so it did happen. Mute.
Okay. Obviously di episod ni kita diperkenalkan lah kepada all the different characters, but not in detail. Tapi nanti kita akan dapat obviously slight backstories when we get onto the episode. Just a slight mention, ada orang tanya cerita ni yang set pada zaman bila. So there's a few historical references tapi tak accurate dari segi time. So there is, buat kata orang apa, anachronism. You know, anachronism is when you have somebody wearing a Casio G watch in the 18th century. You know, that doesn't make sense because it's the wrong time, although watches have existed then. So kita tengok dengan nama Shogun ni, Tokugawa Nariyoshi, dia memang wujud dalam sejarah Jepun, tapi abad ke 14 ke tak salah saya. I did read it up. Bukannya palatau, tapi saya check. So dia zaman Sengoku period. Tapi yet a lot of the other references, macam some of the penjenayah ada mengena dengan insiden 47 Ronin, dan juga beberapa ada insiden yang people can narrow it down. I think somebody, spokesperson dari Viz Media kata bolehlah kita kata abad ke-18, which is 17 something. Surprisingly, there was no mention, tak ada kan Munif dalam manga yang when this was set in, but nama Shogun tu
think so.
Kan, tapi dia abad 18.
I don't think it was mentioned, yeah.
No.
It's better to be left ambiguous like that.
Yeah, especially when they want to play around with itulah. It's quite kelakar juga. Okay, let's see a couple of mentions from chat. Category again. Battle Royale buat Suicide Squad. Afif Problemo, Bakugo Multiverse. Yeah, he does kind of remind me. Although the voice actor for Bakugo.
Azar tu.
Azar Chobe. Azar Chobe, yeah. Although the voice actor, I don't think he's in this at all. Category again, waktu kena curse tu. Memang lambat ya, hidup lagi orang yang balik tu. Yeah, I think at this point of the story, kita tak tahu what's what. Why some of them dah mati, why some of them hidup lagi. So I think we'll just have to wait, because even up to episode 5 pun diorang macam masih still figuring things out. So anyway, it's nothing much in this episode, just the fact that we get to see some spectacular animation with lot of red ink. So kita pergi ke episod ketiga. Okay, episod ketiga, Weakness and Strength, Yuasa to Tsuyosa. So mereka akhirnya tiba di Shinsenkyo, and once they arrive at the island, the battle royale happen again. Survival of the fittest, so nampaknya the order of the day. So selepas Gabi Maru, who at that time pun have to defend himself, got to kill that warrior monk yang kat bawah tu. Bagat nak
100 weapons.
Ya, Yapongari Igabi no Keiyun. Sampai Gabi Maru beli amaran yang kemungkinan Shinobi dari geng dia lama, Iwagakure. Apparently the word Iwagakure means hidden village, and it's used in Naruto. So that was aku tengok macam asal macam pernah dengar, tapi akan tiba ke pulau ni jika aktiviti battle royale ni berterusan. Pada pendapat anda, Apakah Shogun di waktu tu tak hantar saja shinobi at the level of those Iwagakure people to this island? Have you got any thoughts, Munif?
In my opinion lah, bagi aku it's two factors tau. Kenapa the Shogun hantar these 2 layers of expeditions so to speak kan. Sebab we know dia dah hantar waves before and we know dia dah from an unknown expedition, tengok orang balik dah mati kan. So he's probably thinking kalau dah sebanyak tu orang pergi that he knows of and semua just datang balik mampus and infected macam tu. So he's not going to, orang kata in a way dia bijak dia tak put all his eggs in one basket. Yep. Kan? Sebab tak ada lah kau bang on just one expedition, one and done, habis kalah give up. Tak ada lah macam tu kan. The second factor is that kenapa the order lah, why Iwagakure tak pergi lagi to the pulau and kenapa dia hantar this bunch of rogue criminals first? Sebab why should he waste money tau? Sebab katalah this rogue criminals motivated by the promise of freedom tiba-tiba boleh do the impossible, jimat duit aku, tak payahlah nak hire because bear in mind Iwagakure they are basically consultants tau. Consultants don't do shit for free, especially if they are good, especially if they are the best at what they do. They're not gonna do that shit for free. So in a way, the Shogun is a very wily and calculative punya guy lah. So dia dah fikir tau, kalau diorang these criminals are for free, whatever kan, collateral mati pun tak kisah apa semua. If they did it, fine, jimat duit aku, tak payah hire Iwagakure. But if they go and macam frustrated after a while tak dengar berita, hantar Iwagakure. So then I win the numbers game pula, higher probability untuk the mission berjaya. So it's just a win-win for the Shogun to send this 2-layered expedition lah, so to speak.
Apa ni and your opinion, Anri, with regards to
yes. I'm almost the same as Munif. It's just that I think that the fat Shogun, right? That fucker is not as dumb as he looks now, because he's practicing one of the most basic practices when it comes to warfare tau. When you go into battle, right? In this case, battle for the elixir of life, right? You send in the fodder first. You send in the fodder first, so that you can see how strong the army is and where they are located. In this sense, kan, he is actually betting on the Iwagakure to obtain the object lah, the elixir. But he sends the criminal and the Azaemon, Yamada kan, executioners kan, forward first, which means kan, there's probably some sort of agenda of him trying to get rid of the Yamadas, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he knows that if he send both executioner and convict, they are going to die. They're going to be wiped out. So I think this is a move to actually weaken the Yamada and probably replace them with the Iwagakure in the social hierarchy for some reason. I'm not sure. It's just my theory now. 5 episodes in, it feels like that. And that's my 2 cents about it lah. But if you think about it from a third-person view, right, where you don't give a fuck about anyone here, right, I think this is probably the best move he could make. Seriously, this is the best bet he can make if he wants to get the elixir. I mean, what else can he do in a alien land with no knowledge? You need to sacrifice something.
Yeah, interesting that we are at this point of the conversation now, because tadi early on when we spoke during episode 1, and you kind of alluded to the abilities that, for example, Gabi baru ada. And I think, but aku tak ingat which episode they had a flashback to see what the leader of the Iwagakure was like, where there was a hint that Gabi baru suspect that the leader would have had an drank it, have had pernah jumpa this thing before or whatever. I just wondered if the Shogun knows about what the Iwagakure is like, so whether or not he's heard rumors or not. But then again, pasal kita tak sampai lagi kan part tu, so aku nak tanya Munif juga sebenarnya nonetheless. So I was wondering if you can tell us a bit about the Iwagakure at this point without obviously without spoiling. Do you think you will be able to do that for us?
Okay, here's the thing. When at this point, when I was reading the manga, and then bila masuk cerita pasal, it's like two, if you notice, there's two simultaneous things. Number one, when it comes to the mysticism of the manga lah. Number one, you have this mythical elixir of eternal life kan.
Yeah.
So yang kononnya boleh grant immortality. At this point, everyone was like, wait, does this thing even exist? But then on the other hand, the other parallel is that you have Gabimaru say that, you know what, I've seen my Tok Guru done some crazy shit.
Yeah,
he probably So macam kata, he probably means that thing does exist and he actually has access to that somehow. But how to say, while watching this show, you need to keep, dia bukanlah keep separate tau, tapi why I feel at this point that the emperor actually didn't suspect that the Iwagakure, had the thing to begin with. Kalau tak, dia suruh Iwagakure serah lah. Arahkan dia punya shogun army pergi serang Iwagakure, lagi senang kan daripada pergi to some weird island kan. But this is so far is just speculation from Gabimaru, who is actually really close to the Iwagakure leader. So he's seen shit. So this is why he's deducing that maybe because of the abilities he's seen done by the leader, to that maybe he has a laser. But on the other hand, the Shogun has never seen these guys in action. The Shogun, as far as he's concerned, I ask you to hit this clan, to kill this individual, to do this and that. They just come back with a report of a result. In the Shogun's eyes, he probably didn't even know that the clan leader is displaying this mythical level abilities. Because if he actually knew that the Iwagakure leader was macam nampak dia kena tikang kepala macam tak ada apa kan, Iwagakure akan kena serang. But the fact yang dia not only tak serang Iwagakure, but actually will probably get Iwagakure to go as a second wave, shows that the Shogun doesn't know to what extent the mystical abilities possessed by these shinobis lah sebenarnya. Having said that, macam aku cakap, there are two parallels right now going on. Is that number one is the one part of the mystical thing is elixir life, but the other mystical thing is this jutsu and these unnatural abilities of some of these characters that we see so far. So in a way, these two factors are somewhat separate, but they will tie in to a certain narrative juga nanti lah. Eventually, you'll see it.
I see. Yeah, we got a couple of okay. Okay, one Faris actually. Finally, saya rasa Gabimaru dan Sagiri akan fall in love tak? This is fall into spoiler territory, but anybody wants to give a hint or guess or theory of Yokohama?
It's a popular ship lah, hands down lah. It's a popular ship among the fandom. But I must say that the benda issue pasal relationship ni pun is also kind of an important theme dalam Hell's Paradise ni lah. So whether dia akan fall in love ke tak, aku tak nak cakap. But there will be relationship thingies going on, and not just limited to these two, that will actually have quite the implication to the narrative.
Because at the moment kita fikir macam Gabimaru dengan bini dia cinta utuh, tak akan letak that kind of thing, because that's his drive at the moment to stay alive. So you get the likes of our girl Yuzuriha, which we shall meet next. She orang lain semua can fall just like that with her, and he can simply just you shut the F up. We've got a comment from one of our other panelists, Myra, TGLB. Hi there, welcome to the chat. So looking at the number of Yamada Asaemon characters, the theory that Anri mentioned actually makes sense too. If there's not much going on or no agenda at all, I don't think there's a need for that. Yeah, Anri, what was your theory just now? We were talking about?
My theory was the Shogun was trying to get rid of the Yamada.
Yeah. So
and after Munif talk about the Iwagakure kan, I think the Shogun kan is being played by the Iwagakure leader tau. I think he told the Shogun kan about the elixir of life, and he did certain details from him. Yeah.
Anyway.
Also to add on the previous question kan, it doesn't matter if Gabimaru or Sagiri fell in love. If Gabimaru nak kahwin dua, during this time kan, polygamy is allowed in Japan. At that time, that multiple wives are allowed.
Yeah. Haram.
And Myra got something to add with regard to the question just now posed by Wan Faris. I feel like it's Gabi X Sagiri macam Ijiko X Rukia je. You mean tak akan jadi.
It's the main ship, but it didn't
by fans.
It didn't say.
By fans.
Kudo. I have one thing to add on the political thingy tadi lah.
Please.
Because from the Grey Lines punya comment and also Anri punya theory tadi, again without spoilers, I'm just gonna add fuel to the fire, so to speak. Kalau korang ingat, I can't remember from what episode, but the handler of this guy yang mampus ni, ingat tak? He actually said something about how this is also probably a test to see siapa yang akan jadi macam the next head or something alongside the Shogun. Remember? The handler for this guy actually through that dialogue. So when you talk about there's some political thingy going on, based on what the handlers say, it's not complete, it's not unfounded lah, that theory is what I'd say. But the second thing I'd like to bring to light juga is that sebab kau cakap looking at the number of Yamada Asaemons yang ada kat pulau ni pada semua kan, I'm just gonna say this one thing, bear in mind, this is not all the Yamada Asaemon on the island.
Ding. Okay, there's one more comment here by Afif Problemo. Plot twist Asaemon yang pakai eye patch paling tak expect. I'm half ingat tak ingat. Which one is this?
The one who got eaten.
Was he eaten?
Yeah.
Tenzai.
What was he eaten? He was.
Yeah.
He was handling. He was handling that mountain giant.
Right.
Roku Gato.
Dia sampai je kat pulau, dia tengok tiba-tiba macam that mountain guy, he will never move or do whatever until he's hungry tau. Kalau kau ingat masa the Hunger Games tu, dia baring lah. Dia baring, ketuk-ketuk dia tak sakit kan. But then bila sampai kat the pulau yang Tenzai tu, dia selalu duk seksis dengan Sagiri tu kan. Dia kata, what? Are you hungry something? Lepas tu mamat tu serang dia, mati terus. But having said that, betul yang tu tak expected. So I also thought masa baca the manga, I thought that Tenzai guy was gonna be macam super important now. Sebab dia macam banyak gila dialog, dia duk banter dengan Sagiri apa semua. Lepas tu kau ikat kau punya sampai lah tu kau mati tau. However, I have to say that this is also again not a spoiler. Kau dah nampak dia mati kan. He's dead kan. He's dead. But that would lead to one of the biggest escalations in the story tau. Itu je. Be prepared. Be prepared.
Alright, Munif, a bit advanced question lah. for this season kan, berapa episod dia nak cover?
You mean
berapa actually?
Ya.
Aku lupa nak kira.
Yeah.
Pasal
I'm not sure if it's 12 or 13 episodes.
Because my manga is at home, is back in England. So dia ada 13 volume. But I do not know episode 5 sampai volume mana. So at least to have an estimate whether or not there'll be a season 2 or not.
Do we, or at least kan, is the first 12 episode the first season or the first core, something like that? Because this thing is progressing so slow, they're dragging things out at their own leisure, which is not a problem if the writing is good, and it is so far. But I'm just curious kan, do you think this one will extend like 1, 2, 3 seasons?
Here's the thing. Kalau tadi macam Kudo cakap the manga, because aku dah blurry lah, tak ingat sangat, but you said the manga has macam 13 volumes also? 13 volumes into kan. Tapi when we're talking about chapters pula, from what I'm seeing, where we are right now, I think dah lebih kurang berbelas already tau. So so it feels macam slow pace a bit, but they've actually like covered quite a bit without really macam, they're quite efficient lah. Aku tak ada rasa macam they're skipping so many things, but at the same time they have covered apa dia, I think berbelas chapter juga lah actually. So I believe the pace is going quite well lah. It'll probably be a 2-3 season thingy, but just short and sweet and macam just nice lah, I think that's where we are headed to based on the pacing I'm seeing so far. Okay. Because it's not an awfully long story juga.
No, it's not.
Which is to me one of the good things about it, that it doesn't drag lah apa semua. Dia memang habis dengan cantik lah dia story.
Okay lah, good to hear.
Yeah, good. And then as a final note in this discussion in this episode, I think we've converted somebody to try to read the manga. Go Myra.
Yeah.
Add that to your roster. Anyway, kita sekarang akan ke segmen kita yang seterusnya, iaitu episod keempat. Episod keempat, Hell and Paradise in Japanese, Jigokuraku. It's quite interesting that dia orang title wayang cerita ni pun macam wordplay, because Jigoku is hell, Gokuraku is paradise. Dia bobo sambung tadi. Quite nice. So sekarang kita diperkenalkan kepada penjenayah banduan lain yang kira the one that matters lah, the one that's live at the moment. I know you'll say where's the other nanti. So we got this guy, the swordsman, Gantet Susai dengan pedang dia, Blade Dragon. Yuzuriha, Kunoichi lincah menggoda, dan Aza Chobe, kapla penyamun yang ditawani adiknya Azatoma yang infiltrate the clan actually to pretend to be a member of the Asaemon clan, to be his retainer, to be his inilah, kelakar gila, adik sendiri jadi jaga. Tapi jangan not forgetting the Algojos that alive at the moment, the creepy Fuchi who does autopsies and whatnot, dah lah muka dia menakutkan, the sexist Genji and bespectacled Senta. So the variety, sekarang kita nampak there's a variety of characters dalam cerita ni. Aku suka gila cerita ni. In fact, yang interestingnya, the mangaka did say he has backstories for everybody. Tak kisahlah dia punya watak tu hidup 5 saat ke, tak tahulah dia nak buat apa dengan cerita tu, whether it's going to be fleshed out later in the manga, which I don't expect you to Munif can confirm to us later or not whether or not such backstory will exist later on, and whether or not it'll be relevant to the rest of the story. But variety of characters we met at this time. Pandangan pertama, first impression anda, Anri?
I love the characters here.
Yeah,
maybe
our girl here.
Of course, to number one lah. You know, I like MILFs. but I always had the thing for tomboys, and this is the. This is what reignites my tomboy passion for Yuzuriha.
Just a quick nak kacau sikit. Dia ni, this goes to show the versatility of these voice actors. I mean, Ria Takahashi adalah seiyuu untuk Yuzuriha, dan dia juga anda mungkin kenal dari berbagai karakter lain. Tapi one of them is like Megumin from Konosuba. Dia macam budak kecil kan yang main.
Yes.
Itu, yet the polar opposite, you get somebody as conniving and as, lincah as this Konoichi. But anyway, sambung Anri. Sorry for kacau.
Of all these characters, right? The best Asaemon kan is the spectacle guy, because he gives out a lot of information to me lah. But for the criminals kan, Yuzuriha is by far kan the best character introduced as a supporting character lah, because of obvious reasons, not because of her looks, because among all these characters kan, she kan currently kan is on par with Gabimaru when it comes to threat levels lah. They're both ninjas, and it seems that she has macam immortal-like powers. You see the part when dia bunuh Makio, right, by turning him into her guinea pig, right? She was stabbed and she pulled out the sword from a fatal position now. So maybe Munif knows the full story, but I think she's probably anak murid Iwagakure. I'm guessing lah, because her powers is almost tak boleh dibunuh macam Gabimaru lah at this point. I'm just saying. She didn't actually say that she was from a rival ninja clan. She's probably like that.
Aku tak ingat whether I don't think Gabimaru has said anything about her either. So, but I do believe that she might be from another clan. But yeah, she is a good example of somebody who can do a lot of things by doing not much. Kan, the way that she killed her. She did a couple of things lah, but so that she can get ahead in the game without doing too much dirty work and let other people do it. So she's
a real ninja lah, kata orang. She's a real ninja.
Yeah. So she's not just a ninja from a physical slash perbuatan physical, tapi the ninjutsu of the mind.
Yeah. When you speak about a samurai kan, they have a sense of honor kan. Ninja has a sense of not honor, and she portrays that perfectly lah.
Okay, just to follow up on this, Munif, you got anything else? Because the next question is actually tailored for you. Go ahead.
Okay.
You got anything to add?
I'll just say this lah. The lineup of Asaemon tadi, which kau tunjuk Fuchi, Genji, and Senta. So I'll just comment on the Asaemons first lah.
Okay.
So the Asaemons that we've been introduced so far, it just like took me back down memory lane. Reminded me why I like this show so much, because actually macam Kudo cakap lah, the characters in terms of design, as you can see, memang it's really diverse. But also in terms of characteristics, are really diverse. But at the same time, when they mesh or fight or interact with each other, kan, the chemistry tu memang there, tau, memang kena.
Yes.
Tau. And I also like the fact yang it's not sedozen really hardened criminals and then sedozen hardened Asaemons who follow them. Like, it's not that, your shonen typical good versus evil, black and white kind of thing, because among the Asaemons, you'll have some whack jobs who are crazier than the criminals. Among the Asaemons, you have fighters that are more powerful than some of the criminals yang rasa dia paling terbaik juga. And then also you have Center, and ni bukan spoiler lah, macam Anri cakap tadi lah. He's just giving out good information. Dia datang, dia dah macam very analytical of his surroundings. Dia tengok pasal there's like Taoist and Buddhist motifs here lah going on this island, and then they withhold information to goad people into cooperating with them, which is smart, because in a land of the unknown, facing unknown enemies, knowledge is not only power, it's a freaking lifeline.
Yep.
Yeah,
it is.
so
Yep.
so and also macam I would say right now that center to a certain extent would be our lens into this fantastically horrific world of Jigokuraku. Sebab the questions that we're like, what the fuck is going on now? What is that? And apa benda semua ni? That is embodied by Center, and he will actually help us. He will be the part who will be resolving the mysteries while all these fuckers are too busy killing each other all around. So I like how every assignment dia ada dia punya role tau. So it's very dynamic. It's not one dimensional. You'd love each and every one of them in their own unique ways with their own unique roles they play lah. And that also goes to the same with the lineup of criminals that we have seen so far juga. So Lala aku tengok yang okay, dia pun dynamic sangat interesting. It's not just we are all jahat, we are all criminal, we are all ganas and like kita akan lawan the main character. No. It's some will have conflict with the Gabi Maru, some will be an ally, some will be like do something yang tak boleh diterima, some will be a fan favorite and all that. So macam dia ada banyak gila character in this show and they are all lovable lah. And aku cakap right now kan, all the 7 characters featured so far yang kau tengok sound these 4 criminals and the 3 assignment. Let me tell you this, somewhere along the journey kan, aku tak ingat when it happened, but like I do not want any single one of these guys to die. So that's when you're following a really, really good story. You really macam you give a damn about this character, not necessarily macam sayang because they're baik. Macam there's some that you like, please don't die because they're baik, or please don't die because they're awesome, or please don't die because you're such a great asshole. I don't want these characters to go, so you don't want them to go for very differing reasons. That's when you realize, wow, how can this guy juggle all these narratives, all these characterizations, and they're all just so good. So, and I would like to sign off with this comment for this particular thing with just one thing aku nak cakap lah. Out of all these characters yang tengah featured sekarang ni, the Dragon Blade is my favorite. He's my favorite.
And he seems alright for me. Yeah.
He is
my favorite.
Dia tak macam bastard sangat. Anyway, sorry, Adri, go ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't seem too fucked up lah. Convict, he's like the most normal. We understood what he does.
Why he does what he does. So bagi aku tu lah, aku rasa everyone will probably have like macam ni, how good this manga is macam ni. I think everyone will have probably different favorites. Macam aku is Dragon Blade. I'm not surprised some of you will actually like even the not necessarily macam fighting character macam Center pun ada yang akan suka Center, ada yang akan favorite character kau is Kunoichi lah apa semua yang lain-lain kan. But no matter baik ke jahat ke kau punya favorite tak favorite yada-yada apa semua kan, one thing will be for sure, you will sweat and you will not want to see these guys go so soon now, because that's how good the characterizations are. You'll see.
Cool. Okay, we're going on to the next question, which I promised I will give it to you. Basically, finally, now episode 4 dah. Lepas ni episode 5 will be the last episode in this sesi actually. Tapi I think it took us this long to get to this bit. I think because also as much as we saw bits of it earlier on, tapi I think it's pretty much in this episode that it's all fleshed out, which is basically the myriad of grotesque statues and creatures, and all creatures showing both Taoist and Buddhist elements. Beautiful yet horrifying. So there's 2 parts of the question. Obviously, as I understand it, I mean, we'd like some understanding as an anime only, and in fact, I'm sure that ada banyak penonton yang menonton nak tahu the relevance of these 2 elements in the story, as far as you can take us, of course. But the other bit is pandangan anda tentang adaptasi oleh MAPPA, which you did touch on a bit, and there's a picture of some of the Gengar at the bottom down there, but we'll talk about the obvious bit lah, Taoist and Buddhist elements. So you have the floor.
Okay. Basically this is a question of what in the blue hell is going on now. Sebab this episode bagi aku represents the first real escalation of the narrative now. Sebab before this like 4 episodes saja human, samurai, ninja. Okay lah, ada ninjutsu sikit. Tiba-tiba what the fuck, ada benda setinggi kaiju kot jalan lah tu. There's a fish guy with prayer beads, and this fucker is the one who made Gabimaru bleed. What is going on now? So masa aku baca manga tu, this was the part that turned the hater and the doubter in me into someone who got hooked. This was the part. Pasal, like I said, I really don't like terlalu OP main characters. It only works as a comedy for me dalam One Punch Man. That's the only time where it works. Lepas tu, I also don't like unexplained freaking ability. Kalau aku pun, aku lukis orang yang dia boleh terbang, fuck off and whatever. No, I really do not like that. So, mula-mula aku baca macam full of doubt lah. So, tak suka. Tapi sabar, orang kata best. Bila datang this episode, my jaw drop tau. Macam, okay, I see now. This is the first escalation. Suddenly, a lot of things will start to makin dia tak make sense, makin dia can make sense. So in a way though, because then you realize, oh, this is Jigokuraku. So it's not just some normal samurai lawan criminal orang-orang kind of thing. So it's actually a very fantastical manga / anime. Okay. Having said that, bila kau start off with a very orang kata gritty setting lah initially, which is the shogunate times when Japanese and your main characters are essentially human lah kan. Dia bukan alien, bukan ni apa kan. Tapi they thrown into this island where you have macam ni macam Afif cakap, some freaky ass butterfly lah, some kaiju size thingy, and then a fish with prayer beads lah, benda semua, all this thing going on. They're best, but then you'll have a lot of questions on what the hell is going on.
Yep.
Without spoiling anything, aku cuma boleh kata aku iterate aku punya point tadi that center will be our lens to this world or understanding this world kan. So everything yang center cakap tu, whether they speculate, thrown off comment ke, or analysing, or the info yang dia tengah splitting kan, is important now. Everything yang center cakap tu penting towards the pieces, towards understanding what in the world is going on lah. And we saw in the episode where center analyse, one of the first things dia cakap pasal ni ada elemen Buddhism, ni ada elemen Taoism kan. So, but why are they merged together into something grotesque? Or just like the creatures that we're seeing so far lah. Okay. That amalgamation of religion tu ada sebab dia sebenarnya. Why the island looks the way it looks. Yang tu ada sebab dia. And secondly, especially pay even more attention to the Taoism punya aspect. Sebab kita throwback sikit ke when Kudo was actually explaining to us that this island are actually getting closer to China, if anything kan. This particular island that they're going to, betul lah. Which again, you see all these macam seemingly random things that the mangaka set up, but it's not now. The fact that they particularly choose an island yang memang tengah menuju ke China tu is because kalau boleh tengok the relation to Taoism, because Taoism is a predominantly macam Chinese in origin punya religious system kan. All I can say is that kalau korang nak senang hadam the things that will be explained to you later in terms of kisah makhluk-makhluk ni, kisah pulau ni, and the power system of this show, brush up a bit on your Taoism punya general knowledge. So for now, aku kan cakap macam tu je lah. Sebab kalau tak, dia kan spoil some of the good parts lah. Okay. So maybe baca a bit in general Taoism tu apa benda sebenarnya, or how is it different from
Wikipedia.
Buddhism. Dia wiki that shit. Just baca benda tu so that when the explanations come, kau tak ada lah macam what's going on. Sebab aku coincidentally at the office I'm working at, aku punya boss is a very devout punya Taoist. Dia bukan Buddhist, dia Chinese tapi dia very devout Taoist. So adalah ritual-ritual yang dia buat, benda yang dia buat, and sometimes macam dia sembang aku lah pasal why they do what they do, dia punya fahaman. Or sometimes bila so aku kerja as an architect, and in some of the buildings yang aku design, dia nak ada that macam Taoist punya konsep lah apa semua kan. So kebetulan aku was lucky enough to have that base knowledge first. So bila aku baca saya Jigokuraku ni, dia macam understanding that base thing about Taoism that actually helps a lot in understanding what's going on here in the power system and whatever all the juicy stuff yang dia akan bagi kau nanti lah. So just macam get to know that sikit, and kau akan lagi mudah nak hadam what comes, because there's going to be some really crazy revelations. Sebab kalau macam kata, this is the first point of escalation now. Dia orang nak beli samurai lawan kriminal, tiba macam what the fuck, benda sebesar bangunan semua datang kan. Things will get crazier from this point. And kadang-kadang maybe dia takkan immediately explain. Maybe that will frustrate some of you. Tapi tolong percaya, cakap as a person yang tak suka juga loose ends, percayalah bila cakap, you will get the payoff. It will be satisfying. This story is written very crisp, very cleanly, very nicely. You will get your payoffs. But yes, be excited, because like I said, this is only the first escalation. You think this is crazy? Shit gets crazier and wilder and more out of control.
Have you got anything to add, Anri?
When I first saw all these monsters muncul kan, especially that fish guy, right? I'm like, okay, this is the island where Junji Ito lives now, because all these fucks kan, came from his mind.
They are all his neighbors.
Yeah, they're all his pets, neighbors, families, and children. Everyone that's related to him is there now. The just seeing that butterfly kind, the least creepy creature kind.
Yes.
It was disturbing as hell now. I'm like, this thing probably see me take a shit in the Luka just now, and I'm scared. This is you said this is just the beginning. I am looking forward and afraid to see how this thing progress lah. Seriously, but I tell you honestly, kan, in terms of design kan, I think the monsters kan, they hit home. Because if your target is to make the viewers kan lose their mind kan, mission accomplished. All these creatures kan makes the creatures kat Stranger Things kan look very mild. Okay, the lipan with the jari as kat mulut tu kan, okay, that's just the creepy stuff lah. I don't know how they eat. I don't know how did they move. So
one of my favorite is that blue guy that's got limbs sticking out of his eye sockets, and he got his kabaddi metal thing like
they hate it.
Like it's like apa drugs dia makan masa dia design, the thing was spot on.
But I have one thing to lupa nak tambah pasal ni, just to take back to what I said just now, that this is actually a prime example of what I cakap masa earlier tadi, in that even though this is a crazy fantastical punya manga / anime, but the characters are very real and believable lah. Sebab kita boleh tengok in the revelation of this crazy macam nightmare fuel video muncul, you can see a variety of reactions from people lah. So macam Sagiri is a relatively bukanlah kata dia dimanjakan, but she's quite sheltered lah, duduk in a nice dojo, ada family, ada adik-beradik, ada ni benda semua kan. What was her reaction? Macam Sagiri would be us in that situation. They just macam terpaku and like, what the fuck is going on? Kan, they just they just completely immobilized, just completely fell into shock, and dia macam tak react pun yang Gabi Maru had to save her. So that would be, as a person who live, you know, the way we live in a normal life, benda semua, you have a job, you have your family, you have and the world, this is the structure. Tiba-tiba macam apa benda ni kan? So that would be your reaction. But get this, the reaction between all the characters pula lain-lain now. So not only the reactions are realistic, but each character is written so well, because on Gabi Maru punya part pula, he is still human. He is like actually like, what the fuck is this thing juga? Tapi but because he's been hammered with shinobi training dalam kepala dia terus ingat rule number 1, don't engage shit you don't know tau, semua kan. Tapi in assessing the situation, alamak, sebab he became a bit irrational pasal dia nak selamatkan Sagiri, so he almost instinctively moved walaupun his shinobi training cakap do not engage the unknown. So that shows that walaupun he's this super ninja, so he's still human now. So in the end, he lost his composure. He attacked those things out of macam fear for his safety and Sagiri tau. Despite his training him, telling him to bail if you see shit that you macam cannot even identify kan. So yang tu Gabi Maru punya reaction. But then you go to Azor Chobe pula, sebab macam in that beat yang dia pun introduce this mountain bandit guy who survived so many things because he's just an exceptionally adaptable human being. Dia punya reaction saya, oh, what the fuck is this? Okay, how do I kill you? Almost immediately that's dia punya reaction. Dia fikir, dia immediately adapt to the situation because he has been dealing with dangers and the unexpected all his life tau. So some unknown monster, and then okay, terkejut kejap, and then like just another thing I gotta kill to get out of my way again. So because he was brought up that way, how he lived his life. So you tengok, all these characters reaction dia memang completely lain tau. Even the Dragon Blade pun yang aku punya favourite tu, wah aku lah yang paling kuat, aku nak bunuh semua orang, he's very gung ho. Tapi bila dia nampak that towering kaiju, dia pun macam what the fuck is that? So the reactions are very real, and not only that, the reactions are dependent on the world building and the character building of setiap watak tu. Then you know these are signs that by how they react to such a crazy situation that terbalikkan the normality of their life, you know it's a well-written manga, especially for the characters.
Anyway, so I just thought I was gonna slightly allude lah sekejap for the bottom overlay, which is to date how Papa's doing with it. Just now Anri pun ada sebut, was it 2 weeks? Did you say the latest episode that
they have a gap of 2 months.
2 months. But anyway, the artwork was quite fantastic, but blood which is expected from Mappa. So we've gone over that a lot of times when we spoke about Chainsaw Man and any other Mappa. Well, I think that's the only Mappa punya franchise yang kita, IP yang kita pernah cover lah dari segi bedah. Tapi bukannya saya ni nitpicker sangat, tapi macam hari tu when I watched episode 4 and then 5, I was like looking at certain bit like, God, that looks a bit rough. But then again, you know, but the story was good enough for me to forget about all that. And as they say, tunggu Blu-ray, mesti cantik ya.
You see, I'm in the minority, right? I don't care much about the fighting at this point. I just want to see kind what comes up and how I can explain this. Because the mindfuckery is the best thing going on right now.
Exactly. So, after all the 4 episodes of Mindfuckery, we'll be here to the final episode.
Kudo.
Yeah, you need to...
Okay, hold on. Before that, aku actually just nak piggyback on your comment tadi lah, pasal when you say like certain parts like look rough sikit macam tu kan. Macam aku pula, okay, first of all, bear in mind, aku sangat thankful that, you know, a big established proven studio like Mappa is the one who undertake this manga that I really undertake this adaptation. But again, this is definitely a nitpick from me lah. I have to say though, Mappa, they have this tendency, actually I don't know if it's tendency or what, but because of the nature of the IPs that they have been adapting so far, is actually quite macam bleak and tragic and fucked up semua kan. So
Yes.
you can see the visually the worlds are quite macam saturated tau. Dia macam almost ada this monochromatic, hampir kelabu kind of tint to dia punya ni, kasi dia tunjuk that grimy and dark and very depressing punya world lah kan. Which to me that's my nitpick tau, because I'm a bit like if I could tell Mappa something, it'd be like, dude, like don't be afraid to go crazy with the colors and contrast for Jigokuraku, because the vibe of Jigokuraku you can actually see in the opening credits actually, because if you guys, you kan pernah tengok cerita Midsommar yang Florence
I'm aware of it. I refuse to watch it because it's broad day. It's horror in broad daylight.
Exactly. So the thing about Jigokuraku is that it's like, what, tropical island, tropical flowers, beautiful hibiscus flying here and there, but the place is fucked up. That's the uniqueness of the show actually. So kalau kau tengok some of the artwork bila dia buat the coloured artworks in the manga lah apa semua kan. Sebab that, aku rasa that's the vibe the mangaka is going with, or that Midsommar punya aesthetic. It's so bright, it's so colourful, colour contrast memang gila-gila punya, but why is it so scary? So that is the macam kau tengok like you look at the opening credits, it's so colourful, cantik, but you see this fucked up imagery going on. Ni orang ke bunga, orang jadi bunga ke apa, what the hell is going on kan? So that is the vibe. So kalau aku punya nitpick tu is that Mappa punya style dia so macam ada that grey scale, that grey tint sikit tau. I wish they would just go crazy with the colours a bit lah, but that's a nitpick lah.
Anyway, interesting a couple of comments from category sampai pingsan Sagiri. Yes, that's and they also show the variety of effects, the fauna, and at the moment it's all just the fauna and the animals kan, but we've not seen any effect from plants yet.
Not yet.
But and it's not the same, because yet you see it affecting undead society differently to Sagiri, as much as I thought. No, yang tu butterfly, yang tu the lipan kan, so that's why it's different. So
lipan tu okay, the lipan makan mayat je. It's the butterfly yang celaka.
So Sagiri had a different effect from the butterfly, probably because the butterfly was different.
She didn't get bit. She just smelled the pollen from the wings.
It's just like a best holiday location to go to this place. And then we've got hi Haruki Tori, konbanwa, genki desu ka? And Afif Problemos ada kata an ED song. Oh yes, we yesterday I was having dinner with some friends and we were talking about anime OPs and EDs, and the opening is by Millennium Parade and Shina Ringo. For anybody yang minat music Jepun, Shina Ringo is a weird. She's been off the radar for quite a while. I was surprised to see her back. I've never listened to any of her music. I'm aware of who she is, but she's back. Millennium Parade pula is like a conglomerate of musicians led by a member of King Gnu, the band that played music. Yeah, I mean, they're not exactly an anime punya any song punya band, but they have provided sound openings to like Osama Ranking of Kings, for example. So yeah, and I quite like the ending song, as you correctly mentioned. Hi Myra again. After watching Chainsaw Man, I feel like Jigokuraku should be brighter too. Yes, alluding to what Munif commented on what Mappa could do to make things a bit different. Okay, so kita ke episod kita yang terakhir, which is episode ke-5, The Samurai and the Woman, Samurai to Onna. So, first question for this bit, quote, perempuan duduk dapur je lah, jadi kilang anak, terus quote. Tapi kita bukan di sini untuk mengulas seksisme abad ke-18 di Jepun. Tapi adakah pendirian watak Sagiri untuk stand her ground as a samurai or whatever that she wants to be will be a strength as we see her in the latter part of the series. I'm going to do a theory Yokohama, because obviously we won't see this until later on. But what are your predictions? Do you think she's going to stand strong to her convictions after being goaded by Genji? Short-lived, missing a liver. Anyway, go ahead.
Do you realize that every sexist guy who tries to fuck with Sagiri kan dah mati tau? Yeah. Everyone yang kata you cannot do it, you better go stay home, go back to the boat, whatever this kan mati tau. Either kena makan atau kena koyak atau jadi apa makanan bunga tau. Okay, returning back to your question, right? I think it's the theme for Sagiri kan is for her to reconcile her position kan in the story kan as a samurai and as a woman tau. At this point kan she's trying to find her purpose, how to become the samurai that she wants to be, and for her to actually accept her limitations as a woman, and also the strengths and benefits that she hasn't seen yet as a woman would play a key story in the future lah. And at the end, if she's not actually the samurai she wants to be, at least she'll be a stronger version of the samurai she wants to be lah. That is my opinion.
Itulah. I mean, Munif, have you got anything to add about Sagiri? I mean, I think you probably know what the answer is, but I mean, I guess, do you think we anime only viewers could in a way have enough to say yay or nay to this question?
Well, this is gonna, I guess, take an unexpected turn maybe with what I'm about to say, but again, without spoilers, what I can tell you is that Jigokuraku is actually a very good read, and it's a very good anime for, actually, ironically, for people who have self-doubt, crippling anxieties, and existential crisis. Sebab all I can say right now, like kind of narrate with this whole Sagiri internal dilemma that she's going on here is that one of the things that makes me really like about Jigokuraku when it comes to their characters, when it comes to the fight resolutions, fight itself's ability, and all that can be summed up in one simple term, is that in Jigokuraku, strength is not the same as what other animes or anything in other pop culture define. Dalam this show, strength is portrayed differently, is defined differently. So kalau kau cakap pasal this whole dilemma that Sagiri is going through, will she overcome this? Will she persevere? Will she fail? Will she stay the way she is? Or is staying the way she is good? Or what's going to happen kan? Macam, it's written so well that I can't really narrate on that. Pasal talking about her personality pun will kind of relate to the general narrative, will relate to the abilities. So it's like a lot of things macam dia actually berkait to each other.
Okay.
But that's why I say the safe thing that I can tell you is that I really, really love this manga because strength is not what you think it is. And I'll just leave you with a quote for, there's this character that you guys akan jumpa later. Dia akan bagi tahu our favorite protagonist, dia akan cakap this line now. Soul, strong, weak. Body, strong, weak. And I was like, what the fuck is going on now? But you will understand eventually.
Oh God, I'm looking forward to more of this, man. So
it's not your macam kau tumbuk aku, power up, aku tumbuk kau 2 kali ganda lagi kuat. Aku ada final form, aku tumbuk kau 3 kali ganda lagi kuat. No, it's not that type of show. No. It's a lot more complex like that for the characterizations and even the fighting and abilities. So it's so good. You'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question.
Dragon Ball fans. Okay, sorry, Anri.
Okay. Setakat ni kan, I'm very okay with the story lah, the techniques, the fighting, the pacing, semua okay. Please tell me kan, you will not go to absurd power levels macam Kabimaru summon no jutsu aku akan keluar apa in the anytime in the story. Dia summon giant frog or something like that. Please tell me apa, no bullshit like that. At least lah.
No. It's macam mana kata dia akan macam mana kata dia akan escalate lah. But it won't be an as full escalation now.
Okay.
And also if anything, macam mana cakap the when they face whatever they're gonna face on the island kan, most of the time it's addressed not by an as full ability, but it is addressed by strategy, by cunning, by understanding the power system, and a lot of times desperate teamwork. So itu yang aku suka cerita ni tu, because it's not like punch me, I grow into 5 times, I punch you harder than you punch me. It's not that. Because okay, kalau aku nak kata something that's close, but it's not as complicated lah. Is kalau lah Hunter kita ada Nen kan.
Yeah.
The Nen punya power system tu, it's not until that level of yang tu sampai kadang sampai memang completely pening terus what the hell's going on kan. Tapi dia ada that complexity that's reminiscent of Nen, but it's nice enough for you to grasp, tapi complex enough for it to be interesting, and add to that dia punya cunning and teamwork and all that. That's how they resolve things somewhat lah on the island lah. So dia takkan tiba Gabimaru aku api kan, tu aku boleh summon a volcano ke dari mana datang tak. It's
okay,
not
so
like
basically the powers are within the realms of plot boundaries lah. There's no golden sage mood, foxtail, Ninetail, aura, whatever it is lah.
It's not betul. It's a fantastical world, but it's scaled out. It's not jarringly outlandish. Macam kalau kau tengok actually yang dia jadi api, yang Gabimaru jadi api tu, which is a ascetic blaze kan. So that technique tu memang dia consistent lah. Dia akan regularly use that technique and dia akan tunjuk other jutsu juga. But sometimes he'll like the application of that will be different, or in combination with someone or something else, or as a very cunning way ke apa benda. And then bila dia start faham, there's this power system, so I can overlay that with this. So they escalate, but it's very nicely explained and made believable and easily acceptable lah. And even for the antagonist, kalau aku nak cakap pasal if you worry about that, macam the escalation of abilities right, those gila babi fantastical things will actually mostly come from the antagonist. But itu pun it'll make sense because well, you'll see the island itself, or the antagonist, the island, starts off as batshit insane. So macam while your protagonist semua start di sini quite the gritty, and then okay lah, dia above your average humans, ada some abilities and skills semua. Then episode 4, it shows that the antagonist of the island tiba-tiba macam starts at here, what the fuck is going on kan. So as they progress in the battle, how do they match each other semua, as ni memang they can escalate to crazy things. but your favorite protagonist will be understanding the abilities, teamwork, cunning, untuk bagi the matches tu memang interesting. Because it's very well written. So it's not that type of anime lah cakap yang dia just very two-dimensional escalation. This is a very, kalau kau tengok lah without spoiler, kalau kau dengar the chatter online pun, the manga readers, one of the things yang suka gila saya Jigokuraku ni is pasal the outcomes of the battles are unpredictable because the matchups are crazy interesting, the clash of abilities are crazy interesting, and there's not one single way macam to win juga every time, or do they even win every time. So it's just memang so creatively, so well written, especially pasal those abilities. And kau kan tangkap lah whatever I'm trying to hint tapi nak cakap tak cakap ni when they start introducing the power system.
I mean, what I wanted to add is also is the next question, which is, I think Munif has alluded to this a lot in the preceding episodes. My question here is, apakah yang kita tahu mengenai keganjilan Pulau Shinsenkyo dan penghuni dia setakat ini mengikut pemerhatian Center dan Gabimaru setakat ini? Because of the moment, like again, Munif was saying that we've got the team up of an unexpected bunch of people, because in the beginning we got the likes of Sagiri being really by the book, not letting Gabimaru even take his bonds off Bladiba, and now in the end they've got to work together regardless how dangerous our Kunoichi is. And Munif has also alluded to we're going to be looking to Santa's eyes to explain what's going to happen. But is there anything else to add to this? Because we don't have to answer this question in detail, but if you guys think is there anything that you guys missed out with regards to what we know by now, by episode 5 with regards to this island? Because I personally feel kita belum tahu in detail lagi. In fact, probably grace the surface pun. We only know like, binatang ni macam ni, binatang macam tu, and it's got different effects on different people. Anybody got any comments?
Kalau for me lah, on what we've seen so far is that macam aku cakap lah, the mangaka is an editor. Dia sendiri pun memang editor kan. So yes, an eye for detail lah, naturally as an editor. But then when an editor sendiri tulis and lukis dia punya own manga, again, the natural progressions of things is that as a famous architect once said, God is in the details lah. Benar. Yeah. So when you look at of course from center will be our lens to this world, but at the same time, the visuals and the designs of the characters of the monsters are actually kind of giving away clues juga lah. So little hints about what's actually going on here. Because one thing I can tell you, which is not a spoiler because it's quite obvious, is that a lot of things here looks like amalgamation actually. And even if you, again, looking at the details, saya cakap manga kau ni detail lah. This is also not a spoiler. Kalau kau tengok really look at the flowers that you are looking. At this island kan, which is benda yang memang dia dah terang-terang dah tunjuk seketul. We know this is somewhere between Japan and China on some island in the middle of the Pacific.
Bunga raya.
But at the same time, macam you've got hibiscus, but in a hutan that's not necessarily tropical. And yet ada hibiscus. And kalau kau tengok lah, some of the other flowers, is it exactly flowers that are supposed to grow from the regions? Like the plants and the creatures and all seems like, and even the religious motifs looks like amalgamations. So this is what we know, what we literally see so far. So what does that mean now? It's actually quite an important question for you guys to ponder. as center starts to help us unravel what's going on with this world. So apart from the fights and the characters and the power system, the mystery of Jigokuraku pun is one of the biggest attractions of this IP lah.
Anri, have you got anything to add, or have you got anything to add with regards to? I mean, we've gone over this before lah, about what we know about this island. But if there's anything else that you need to add, by all means do so. If not, then I can go on to the next question.
I think there's nothing much for me to add lah. When I first see this island, I thought it was somewhere in the Philippines, because of the Sampah Guita. But now after seeing the wildlife, it's more like this island is located in hell actually.
Hell's restaurants dustbin with all the sisa-sisa lauk. Okay, anyway, soalan kita yang terakhir, something a bit more light-hearted. These two jokers. I mean, I remember seeing Nurugai briefly in the Battle Royale bit by the beach, but now we got some further details on her. And Mama ni, it's quite a likable Algojo. What's his name? Tenza. But he does come across a bit dense. I find it likable. Just to close off tonight's discussion, pandangan anda tentang dua ekor ni, Anri?
This is probably the most likable duo on the island. The kindest Azemon and the most innocent criminal in the whole mix are together. They probably like I said, the nicest people on the island, which makes me.
Dia something to do with the fact dia punya tribe got wiped out by the samurai, and then
they were just minding their own business and then they wiped out for no reason.
Ethnic cleansing.
Ethnic cleansing. So basically, I worry that they may be subject to the most tragic death on the island now, because this whole show is like a an elimination show. Because of all the dangers on the island, I'm pretty sure that they're not going to survive at the end, and they're probably not going to survive at least together lah. The guy is a likable idiot. What can I say about Nurugai lah? Tomboy, dark skin. What's not to like? First is male, second is tomboy.
As long as Anri's happy, we know what's what. And if any final words with regards to the two characters, Munif?
Okay. Aku tak nak just comment these two characters, but again lah, when you're showing me all the characters introduced one by one, it's like memang is a trip down memory lane. So here's the thing. As you see, these two guys have their relation going on lah, as handler dengan ni kan. And then you also see like other handlers actually already either killed or have already be done with the allocated criminals kan. And then you tengok pula Gabi Maru dengan our favorite Kunoichi, tu tiba-tiba dia dengan Fuchi, Genji, Senta suddenly form an alliance pula. Lepas tu you have Azachobe and dia punya Asaemon brother like doing their own thing. Sebenarnya dia ni orang tak tahulah ada relationship pula. Dia ni berkawan brothers pula sebenarnya kan. And then you have orang yang dah berlabuh pun dah terus mati, and then you have that giant yang tak ada handler lah benda semua. What I'm trying to get at is that when you put all these characters balik in a spread macam ni, to me when I'm looking back at this I'm reminded of another factor of why aku cakap the writing for this manga is so good. Pasal it's not only that kau suspend fikir siapa yang hidup, siapa yang will the most wholesome be subjected to the worst death, macam Anri risau tadi, which is aku punya kerisauan towards some of these characters towards the show juga naturally. But at the same time, the mangaka just fucking exceeds your expectations. And bukannya exceed in the sense yang kau ingat dia ni mati kan, dia ni tak mati. Kau ingat dia ni patut mati, dia ni mati sebenarnya masih hidup. It's not just about who lives or who dies, but it's also about at the end of the show who is with who is allied with whose like partnership is broken, who's dead, who's broken, who is dead inside because that one is also dead, who's macam it's all like freaking jumbled up, but it works. So the fates of everyone will not be what you think. Sebenarnya. So macam it's done so well. So bila aku tengok balik macam dia ni partner dia ni, 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 and I'm just thinking back, wait a minute, this that partnership did not all last, obviously, but it's not necessarily ended by death. So what happens? And then kau tak throw lagi the other fuckers we haven't seen into the mix. And I'm just so amazed how mangaka ni balance so many good characters and just make it work between them. It's so good. So be excited for whatever their fate is, just the journey of following their stories, and eventually when we come to the conclusion, we see how everyone ends up, and like me, you're looking back at this bedah balik and you're like, son of a gun, how did they pull this off, Memang tak sangka, but memang terbaik.
Nice one. So we got a couple of comments from chat. Haruki Tori, Mappa is a different breed. Yeah, it is a different breed. It's got August origins. I mean, it came from the guy who actually ran Madhouse. I can't remember. I think nama dia Maruyama. So the M came from his name, Madhouse. And then he left and he formed Mappa again. And then he's no longer in Mappa now. Anyway, he's formed. There's another studio which I've mentioned in the previous video. I can't remember. But biasalah. But Mappa is also infamous for dia punya cerita-cerita apa mendera pekerja. But actually that's happening everywhere. Bukan menghalalkan yang haram. But they do work the people hard, and I mean, people can argue the only thing yang betul-betul cantik in this anime is the intro when they had the motorcycles riding with the letter Mappa written out. In fact, there's been that logo has been around since that actual montage been around since the days of when they did Dorohedoro. Dororo. Which was a remake of an Asuma Tezuka manga / I mean, they did actually have a black and white old one back in the 70s or late 60s, but it was a quite a good one. So if anybody nak tengok Mappa cerita samurai, tengok Dororo.
Dororo or Dorohedoro?
Dorohedoro is a different thing. Dorohedoro is by Hayashida Q, the person who did I think is Dorohedoro the one where ada mamat kepala macam kepala.
Yeah, that's Dorohedoro. Dorohedoro is the body part.
So that's Hayashida Q, whose current manga I'm reading, which is called Daida. But Dororo, Dororo is basically talk about a child who befriends a puppet made of wood, who's actually a person who was cursed. And every time he commits, he avenges each of his orang yang buat salah kat dia. He regains his humanity one by one. It's really good. It's really good. I loved it. Category the great. Paling lawak Tendra dan Nurugai cuba lari di pulau tu. Last kali terperangkap. Nice fun. Trap juga. It's a trap. And Myra lastly.
It's not trap. Reverse trap.
Oh, reverse trap.
Yeah.
Because she's never said that she was a guy anyway. Kan?
A trap is a guy who looks like a girl, but a girl who looks like a guy is a reverse trap.
Okay, Myra, I've been expecting Ludwig Miss van der Rohe quote.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, you should meet. She used to study architecture.
Oh ya ke? Patutlah tahu.
Is this an architecture? Is this an architect? This person, Munif.
Gang.
Tak. Ludwig Miles father.
Yeah, one of the fathers of modern architecture.
Yeah. Hey, everything's interlinked, Myra. So you've joined the right group of people. Anyway, kepada penonton yang belum nampak our new member of the anime division, Myra L, the grey lines between, she's done a couple of sessions with us and she's part of the gang now. We did Suzume over the weekend and we did The Witch from Mercury last season, and she'll be back to do Witch from Mercury season 2. It should be about in a few weeks time lah. Okay, so kita dah habis lah episod 1 hingga ke 5 dan kita sekarang going to the final bit of the bedah, which is harapan kita untuk episod Jigokuraku yang seterusnya. Right, so basically harapan. Gosh, I mean, I do have a harapan yang menggunung untuk what's happening next, because obviously, as I said, these 5 episodes hadn't revealed much, and then I'm now very reassured by Munif, bukanlah premonition, but the thing is, of what's happening next. Senang je lah. Memang looking forward to see what's what next. Tapi minta maaf, saya sekarang ni manga saya kat rumah, so selalunya saya buat rough guesstimate to see whether or not they can finish the story in one season. We've got 7 more episodes left. I don't know, so we'll see. So harapan daripada Anri.
Usually I would joke around and say I'll be waiting for more MILF moments, but we're not getting any MILFs here. I'm not really looking forward to the tomboy experience, even though I like it. The thing that I'm looking forward to most is more information on the island and its inhabitants. You said we haven't touched the surface. I agree. We just know the island is hostile and there's a lot of fuckery going on.
How the fuckery works, we need to know.
The fish is crazy. The insects are crazy. The plants are crazy. The natives are crazy. I want to know what's going on. Are they all dead? Is this just a figment of imagination? Are the flowers emitting drugs in the air, and we're all just imagining all these things? We need an explanation.
Cakap pasal benda-benda atas island tu, one thing with the statues kan, the one with the Buddhist kind of influences.
Yeah, if you notice,
and some of them were quite Kama Sutra like,
Yes. You sedar kan? I pun sedar. Isn't that Buddha fucking another Buddha? I'm like,
whoa.
I'm serious.
Dia macam grotesque.
And then there was one Buddha kan, ada tangan coming from the chest dekat sini, and then they were kissing another Buddha. I mean, like, wow, the Japanese betul-betul tak takut. They're doing all these things under the influence of alcohol and drugs at the same time. Splendid.
Splendid. Okay, Munif, harapan.
Okay. First kali aku just nak First kali just nak address sikit on Anri punya initial punya harapan tadi, on the female punya experience kan. Let me tell you something lah. You haven't met the Bogelas of them all yet lah.
Bro.
You're in for a treat because there's some shit that's gonna muncul nanti.
Somebody's hiking up the MAL score for the Jigokuraku.
So you're telling me if I watch this, I'm going to have some vitamin M later.
Vitamin M.
That's
sebab
MILF.
Sebab some of the more raucous and sexual and don't give a shit characters haven't even appeared yet. So on that part, I guess guys can look forward to that lah. Okay, on
I don't want it to be a spoiler, tapi I thought we have accounted for every single criminal who's alive and dead. Are we talking about new characters that we've that supposed to be part of the party, or is that too much of a spoiler if you were to tell us what's what?
Or are they the
I'll-
early 60 people who came earlier?
Because there was
I'll
only
just
10 people.
I'll just
There were only-
repeat. I'll just repeat what I say. You've never seen this character before. That's all I'll say.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
You've never seen them before. Tu je. Who are they?
Okay.
Kau tengok lah nanti.
Okay.
On my harapan, but as a person who obviously know
How about you?
the ends of the story already, but of course I still do have a harapan because
Yeah. For the anime.
because I cannot wait to see the revelation when it comes to the power system and the more battles with the inhabitants of the island because there are some shit on the island, even though yeah, like I said, the drawings, the spreads in the mangas tu memang like a masterpiece punya artwork gila. But there's some things I want to see that moving and animated now, because you're gonna see some crazy shit. So I want to see those things that I've ever only seen in still drawings animated. I want to see how those things move, and I want to see how certain characters that we've never seen before will talk. What's their voice gonna be like, and all that. So, because again, like I cakap, this show is all about escalation now, and I'm not kidding when it comes to it's escalation to the extent there's some things. And I think I'm quite a creative and imaginative person myself, being someone who works with designs. But there's something you know what? I actually need to see that animated. So yeah, I can't wait to see those things.
Yeah.
Whatever those are, kita tengok lah nanti.
Anyway, so tu dia harapan dari kami untuk siri Jigokuraku ini. Tapi kita orang pun nak just to add to the harapan with regards to the actual sessions that we have. With 12 episodes, we have 7 more episodes, and Munif is actually a vital part of the team, and it's much easier for him to do it in the weekdays. Saya pula kerja in the weekdays. But there are a few times in the coming months. But tengoklah macam mana, because if you're talking about 7 episodes, we won't see the end of it till the end of June. So we'll play it by ear. We'll see how we can, or perhaps if there is an occasion where you could fit in a Sunday or a Saturday, just a one time for the it won't be for the next 8 weeks anyway. So kita boleh plan lah something so that we could finish it without waiting until September to finish it ke apa. Let's see what we've got there. Faith problem. I think there's a follow-up question. Ada manusia tinggal kat pulau tu. I think according to Munif, kita tengok je lah.
Tengok
kan? Tengok je lah.
Because ni bukan nak buat suspense ke apa ke, tapi macam bila ada manusia tinggal kat pulau tu, benda ni susah nak jawab. Tu je dia cakap.
Okay, nice one. So I think we've done quite well actually. Wow, 2 hours 18 minutes. Nice. So kita dah tiba di penghujung sesi bedah kita untuk malam ni, untuk episod 1 hingga 5 Jigokuraku or Health Paradise. Dan diharapkan penonton di rumah terhibur dengan ulasan kami malam ini. Untuk sesi yang akan datang, as you know, saya selalu buat sesi saya hari Ahad. Tapi 2 minggu ni kita orang manage to it was Ahad actually. And this one was Tuesday. Ahad ni tak ada anime session. But insyaAllah kita akan bertemu kembali in the following Sunday. That should be 14 hari bulan Mei. Dan I think saya mengharap by that time kita orang boleh mula discuss Mobile Gundam Witch from Mercury season kedua. which is part of the musim spring season anime spring season for this year. Panelists yang should be able to join me would be Shazli American, Myra from The Grey Lines Between, and hopefully Tarmizi Ali. Tapi tarikh dan masa sesi, hopefully as I said 14 hari bulan Mei. But if ada if another date is supposed to be done for that session, we'll tell you lah. Dekat nak ikut kami punya news, ikut kami mengikut laman Facebook dan YouTube STOMACHOFCHAOS.com dan juga BuzzPopTV. So kepada anda yang baru saja ke sesi kami dan a bit too late to catch on the live discussion, jangan lupa untuk melanggar, berkongsi dan tekan butang like untuk kedua laman YouTube dan STOMACHOFCHAOS dan BuzzPopTV, laman pop culture sukan Malaysia, supaya anda tidak ketinggalan untuk sesi live stream kami yang akan datang. These live streams are all archived dalam YouTube. Anda boleh nonton bila-bila masa, tapi tak ada can nak live Q&A lah. Tapi by all means, kami membaca setiap komen. So jika anda mempunyai apa-apa soalan untuk stream ni atau stream lepas, by all means drop it in the comment section dan kami akan menjawab soalan anda. So juga jika anda ingin menonton sesi kami yang apart from the live stream archive, kami juga mempunyai video-video pendek yang digarap daripada our longer live stream, where kami concentrate on certain aspect of an anime, baik dari segi penulisan atau penceritaan atau lore. Yang tu available dalam archive STOMACHOFCHAOS.com. So saya adalah beberapa video 5 minit, 8 minit untuk Bleach, untuk Suzume dan sebagainya. So terima kasih kerana sudi bersama kami. Kepada rakan panelis saya hari ini, sama Deshta, kepada Munif, thanks for spending 2 hours tonight with us, and also Anri Alwi. Yeah, I know you'll be waiting to do this session for the longest time. Dan saya Kudo Maharizu, ijo desu, mata today. Okay, thanks guys, see you. Jumpa lagi di lain masa. Okay, bye.
See you.